today's class is a whole body class, just using a roller, a band, and a softball for the feet. So let's just start with the feet and just work from the big toe to the heel. Just waking up the feet, which wakes up the superficial back line. So as you're doing it, spread your toes. You can tuck them under, you can lift them up. You can try and make the toes separate as well. So you're working from the big toe to the heel, and then the second toe to the heel, the third toe, the fourth, the little toe. So it's almost like you're digging your feet through sand. So just really mobilizing the feet, and then just work from the little toe back in towards the big toe again. They're all really important, but the big toe is the most important of the 5. And then just maybe if you've got a soft enough ball, just push into the ball and then release and just pump the ball. That's only really an option if the ball is soft enough. If it's really hard, that won't be comfortable. So about 10, you could even lift the other foot off the floor if the ball is a good choice. And then you're coming to the front of the heel, put the heel on the floor and just move your toes right to left and just work into the fascia on the underside of the feet. You could wrap the toes down and lift the toes up. Try and get as much movement as you can. And then come to the broadest part of the foot and go right in the middle. There'll be a lot of editing done in this video, I think. So right into the middle of the foot at the broadest part, and you're just going to press into the ball and wrap the toes under and lift the toes up. And there's a little bit of a spreading the toes wide. If you look at your feet, there should be some sort of separation between each of the toes. So if not, that's something to work on. And then a little bit of friction rub. And then quickly doing the other side. So again, just start by working from the big toe to the heel. So it's a really quick look at the feet. It's always a nice way to start the class. And then lift second toe to heel, third toe to heel. So if you've got a soft ball, it's more about mobilizing the feet, the toes. If you've got a harder ball, then it's what we call rinsing, where you're pushing the fluid in the feet up towards the heel to get back into the circulatory system. So then from the little toe to the heel, working your way back in towards the big toe. The big toe is the most important line, so maybe you do a few on that line. It's all part of your deep core line and how we're connected to the floor. So then you're going to, sorry about the dog, then you're going to come to the middle of the foot and you're going to pump and you're going to just lift the other foot off the floor if that's comfortable for you, and just pumping the feet. Sorry, I'm going to have to let my dog out. Won't be a minute. Yes, Eddie. What a pain. Go on, out you go, stay out. Okay, so you're still working the feet, so pumping. And then we come to the front of the heel, and you can either do it with the heel down and you can go that way. That's what we did on the other foot, so we'll do the same. Wrapping the toes down and lifting it up. And as you lift the toes up, spread the toes wide. And then we come forward to the broadest part of the foot. So at the broadest part of the foot, that mound, it sort of goes up into a little sort of indentation right in the middle. So you're right there with the ball and you're wrapping the toes under and you're lifting up and spreading again. Okay, and then we did the friction rub, just to really wake up the feet. So the ball, we're not going to use it again unless you get tired hands. If you get tired hands when you're massaging, you could keep the ball close to, and you could use that later on instead of your fingers. So now coming to grabbing your roller, And you're going to just use a roller as something to help you with balance. And you're going to lift up onto your toes. So you're really using the joints of the feet and then come back down. So this is going to activate the superficial back line through the feet, through the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes into the low back. There's quite a lot of low abs and pelvic floor as well when you lift your heels like this. Surprising how much you have to use your abs to do this. So just see how the joints of the feet feel now that we've relaxed them a little bit. So see if you could lift your heels and bounce, touch the floor and bounce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and come back down. And then do it slowly again. So it's really going to work into that back line. So doing slow 10. As you come up, see how high you can come up. See if you can feel that in your low abs and your pelvic floor. And can you feel it in the joints of your toes? I'm becoming very aware of my hamstrings and my calves now. I'm slightly out of shot here. There we go. So after you've done the 10 slow, see if you could do the 10 quick bounces. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So slow ones, last set, 10 slow. So you can really start to feel in this exercise how connected we are from the soles of the feet up through the back of the legs into the low back. You're really pitching on those toes. Not a pleasant release. So this one is strengthening the back line. It's also working on the fascia with the bouncing. So last one now, bouncing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And my hamstrings and calves are crying now. So just do a quick calf stretch. So you lock the back knee, the toes are pointing forward, not turned to the side. And then you just push forward through the front of the pelvis. Try and keep the heel on the floor. Sort of tells you how hard working your calves and hamstrings are. Doesn't take much to make them get quite tired. Bring the foot in so the toe is lining up with the heel of the front foot, but with a hip space in between. And now you're sitting, your shoulders, your hips are lined up. You're sitting into that back heel. So this is the deeper calf muscles. So we've got 2 calf muscles, one on the outside, one much deeper, closer to the bone. You feel it in your Achilles. So it's good to work the calves, but just make sure you stretch afterwards. So changing over now, so you're in that staggered stance. The box of your body is nice and square, pointing forward. The heel is down. And you're just gently pushing forward through the front of the pelvis. So this is the superficial calf muscle, the one that's on the outside of the body. And then you bring your big toe towards the line of the heel of the front foot, but with a hip space in between, shoulders over hips, and you're sitting into the heel on the back foot. And these are the deeper muscles that are much closer now to the leg bones. And you can feel this has got quite a strong connection with your Achilles. And then gently come back up. So turn to face me. Still got your roller to help you with balance. You're going to think of a big clock around your body. So in front of you is 12 o'clock. Your standing leg is the working leg. And you're going to step forward to 12 o'clock, a little bit of a lunge. I'm going to step back a little bit so you can see. So you're stepping to 12 and then you're coming back. So this standing leg bends a little bit. So there's a little bit of a squat. And then the glutes contract to bring you back in. So stepping. So try now not putting your weight on the 12 o'clock, just tapping it with your toe. And the body, the whole body is in line. And the body is dropping down and then coming back in. Make it very shallow. You don't want to irritate your knees. So we'll do 4. So now go to what would be 1 o'clock. So keep the shoulders over the hips, over the heel. And you're not putting your weight on the front foot, the weight is staying in the back supporting leg. 4 of those. Now go to 2 o'clock. So these are called clocks. And they really are good for activating your glutes and your deep stabilizers of your hips so that your walking and your gait is much more balanced. So now go to 3 o'clock. So try and keep good alignment through the body and the leg. Don't go so deep that it aggravates any knee issues. 4, now go to 4 o'clock. Make sure the body stays very upright and sort of accommodate the movement in whatever you can maintain neutral spine. So don't cheat, don't lean out to try and do this. Keep very upright. So then we would try 5 o'clock. So this loaded leg now is really starting to tell the brain it's fatiguing, and you can feel all 9 of your glute muscles, the hip stabilizers, really important muscles. And then finally to 6 o'clock. So really good if you've got a lazy side that's not really talking to the brain properly. It's going to force that lazy side to work and improve the communication in the nervous system. So that's 4 to each of that half of the clock. Do some little sits. So you should feel this side in the brain now is quite awake. So then you move your rollers to the other side. Okay, it helps to be in first position. I didn't say that. It just makes that standing knee a little bit more comfortable. So again, you reach towards 12 o'clock again, little knee bend. Very straight through the spine. You're not leaning off to the side. So just find what you can do in neutral spine. So then we're going to do 4 to 11 o'clock. So if you did this exercise once a week, twice a week, you're really going to help to keep these stabilizing muscles strong. Then you're going to do 4 to 10 o'clock. So it's not about doing a deep knee bend, it's about just balancing. So you could take the hand away from the roller as well. Then 9 o'clock. So it's going to really work on proprioception. I'm on my lazy side now, so it feels a little bit fuzzy in the brain, but it is working, so that's a good thing. So then you go to 8 o'clock. Maintain neutral spine, keep the box of the body very square, under control. Then 7 o'clock. Whoops, so 7 o'clock for me is a little bit, that's been the hardest one so far. So my brain doesn't quite know how to coordinate that 7 o'clock position. So that's good, challenging the brain. And then finally back at 6 o'clock. See if we can do it. So definitely harder for me on this side. Not the same degree of fatigue, but as you practice this, I can feel quite a bit of hamstring activity where my hamstring was trying to do the job that the glute should have been doing. So these are just important things that you're sort of figuring out. Do some little squats, just relaxing, and do some ponies. Okay, so let's come to the floor. Grab your roller on the floor. If you want to use a ball instead of hands, grab your ball. Oopsie. So let's just come onto the roller and we're going to lie down on the roller. You want your bottom right at the end. Put your computer or your iPad where you can see this without doing horrible things to your neck. You've got your tailbone right down at the bottom of the roller and the whole of your head is on the roller so that the crown of your head is level with the top of the roller. So your whole body on the roller. Just take your feet a little bit wider and just start with a gentle sway from right to left. So just waking up the brain to the fact that we're on something quite unstable now. If you haven't got a roller, you'd use the roll-up towel, but a really big towel and roll quite tightly. So let's start with the face. Let's just take our first 2 fingers and just gently massage around the temple. So we've got a little bit of a hollow there. If we go around the rim of that hollow, you can feel there's a lot of tension here. So this is where if we grind our teeth, if we clench our jaw, these muscles really, really do start to tense up. So if you just close your mouth and grit your teeth, you can feel these muscles contract. So just rolling around. You could hold the head and you could use your thumbs. So whichever seems best for you. You could use the ball, but you're only obviously going to do one side at a time if you're using the ball. So this is a place that we get tension headaches and migraines. So then come down to the front of the ear, to the hinge of the jaw. And again, I would maybe hold the skull and just use your thumbs and just massage the hinge of the jaw. And you could open your mouth and do a bit of a yawn. And then close and do that a couple of times. And then we could just gently close the mouth, but softly, and just do the muscles that are sort of under the cheekbones. So really good for people that clench their teeth, grind their teeth at night. If you've had any dental work done. And then just come to just below the lower teeth. And if you're not sure, just close your teeth and you'll feel the muscles bunch up. So these are called pterygoid muscles. Very, very tense. And then make a soft fist with your left hand. Put it on the hinge of your jaw and then make a soft fist with the right hand and just gently tap the jaw on the right. And you're using your left hand just to feel the vibration in the hinge of the jaw. And do it, just gently, just do it about 5 or 6 times. So you just send a gentle shock wave through the jaw just to relax the hinge of the jaw. Then make a soft fist with your right hand, put that on the hinge of the jaw on the right side, soft fist with the left hand, find the bone of the jaw on the left, and just gentle taps. And you're trying to feel the vibration in the hinge on the right side. Be gentle. So you're just using that percussion to relax the tension in the jaw and the muscles of the jaw. And then just again, just massage the hinge of the jaw with the thumbs and do that soft open yawn. Do that 3 or 4 times. And relax. So then come to the front of the neck. You've got these muscles that run from the back, just below the ear, right the way down to where the collarbones come together. Sternocleidomastoid. Start at the collarbone, thumb and 2 fingers, and just gently come up the neck. So it's a sort of a diagonal muscle, and you're just squeezing the muscle. And it's a squeeze, you're not pushing down into the neck. You're not affecting any blood vessels, and you're coming up towards the mastoid process just behind the ear. So the muscle gets thicker here. So come down again and just see as you go from where the collarbones meet to the back of the ear, if there's any part of that muscle that's a little bit sore. And if you find any painful areas, just stay there and just do about 10 squeezes. I do think doing these exercises a little bit better when you're lying down. And then now take the right hand to the middle of the collarbones, thumb facing outwards, 2 fingers on the other side. And again, just starting at the collarbone, gently coming up. So squeeze of the muscle, so you feel the thumb pressing into the 2 fingers. You're not pushing down into the neck because we've got very important blood vessels here. We don't want to interfere with blood flow. And you're coming up to the back of the ear. And then go down again and just see, is there any part of that that feels a little bit tender? Maybe just do 10 squeezes in that spot. So these 2 muscles are like reins on a horse. So if you think about the reins on a horse, as you pull the reins, you turn the horse's head. Well, they sort of do the same thing for us. So if one side is tight, it's because we're turning the head to that side, and this muscle group's getting quite overworked. So then take 2 fingers, just the right side, just gently start at the base of the rim of the skull and just do some gentle friction rubbing and come down the side of the neck. Only do one side at a time. We don't want to press on blood vessels, and just quick rubbing, and then you come down. It might actually be better to do it with the other hand, thinking about it. And you're coming down to just above the collarbones, and be gentle here because there's usually quite a lot of tightness where this muscle meets the rib cage, and the nerves here can be a little bit irritated, so don't be rough. So what you're going to do, just a quick rub, and then take the right hand to the left side, start at the rim of the skull, just underneath, and you're coming down the side of the neck, and you're just doing rub, rub, and then you're moving down. So it's like 2 or 3 rubs in each part, and you're coming down, and you notice as you get closer to the collarbones, it starts to get a little bit sharper because of the blood vessels and the nerves here, and because this is where the upper 2 ribs are, and this muscle group is a breathing muscle, so you can feel that the breathing actually tightens this muscle up quite a lot. Okay, come to the collarbones. You can do 2 hands again now, and come below the collarbones and just gently rub. Actually, I'm going to do a single, left hand to right side, just rubbing under the collarbone. So these are your sternalis muscles. Again, breathing muscles, they get really tight. So just do about 10 rubs under your collarbone. And then right hand to left side, just do about 10 rubs. You could use a ball if you don't like using your fingers. And then come to with both hands on the collarbones, come to the middle of your collarbones and come down about 2 to 3 fingers, and just with your thumbs, just press here, and you'll notice that there's usually an active trigger point here. There's one of those universal triggers, pretty painful. So again, this is your smaller chest muscles, they get very tired. And you could come down maybe another finger's depth. So middle of the collarbone, and you're coming down, and you'll just find those tender places. If you come up to the middle of the collarbone and just with 2 fingers press under the collarbone, right in the middle of the collarbone, this is a reflexology point for breathing. So I'm going to use my thumb, actually, it's a bit easier, my thumb's stronger. And just press here. And you press for about 10 seconds, and you'll notice that your breathing, the quality of the breath improves. So again, it's a trigger point. It's just relaxing chest muscles. Take some deep breaths while you're doing it. And then you take your left thumb halfway, midpoint of the collarbone, underside of the collarbone. You're right up against the collarbone, and use your thumb and just press. Take some deep breaths. And just notice, especially if you are having breathing problems, just notice that your breath improves. You just feel like you're getting a little bit more oxygen. And then a good thing is just to make a soft fist and just do some rubbing under the collarbones. Take your left hand and you're going to put your fingers, 4 fingers into your right armpit, and your left thumb is on the big muscle at the front of the armpit. That's your bigger chest muscle where it comes up into the arm. And just squeeze with it's a sponging movement, just squeeze. So it's going to be quite painful in the armpit. You've got lots of muscles coming into the armpit. And if it's painful where the thumb is, so you could just do the thumb if you want to just do the chest. So there's a cluster of triggers just around the front of the armpit. So just see what's tender. And then you could also put your thumb in the armpit and squeeze at the back of the armpit, which is your subscapularis, the muscle under your shoulder blade. Lots of painful places through here. So I'm working upwards and I'm sort of coming through a fan, working up, and then I'm working down into teres major, teres minor. So then we're really quickly doing this. So you're going to put your right fingers into your left armpit. You're going to squeeze with your thumb at the muscle at the front of the armpit, and you're just sponging. It's a really good one to do if you've been doing lots of activities with your arms and your shoulders. And then put your thumb into your armpit and put the fingers around the back of the armpit and just squeezing. So upwards is your subscapularis. And then as you come down, teres major, teres minor, latissimus dorsi. So quite a few muscles here. Anywhere around the armpits, there's lots of activity. So now take both hands to where the breastbone is, underneath the ribs, and just follow the line of the ribs and just pull downwards and outwards. So your fingers are going under the ribs, and this is your diaphragm. And there's a feeling of pulling outwards, so your upper abs are getting a bit of a stretch. Again. We hold a lot of tension here at our solar plexus. So the solar plexus is a bundle of nerves that are around the diaphragm, around the psoas, stomach. It's a very active area. So it's just nice. And then you could work outwards as you come downwards towards the belly button. So we're working our abdominals. And then we're coming around the rim of the pelvis. So you're following the bone of the pelvis and you're just sliding your fingers slightly under the rim of the pelvis with that outward stretch on your transversus abdominis, your muscles, your lower abs. And then one I like to do is sponging the waist. That's your obliques. Thumb at the back, fingers at the front, and just squeeze and release. Squeeze the sponge, let it refill, squeeze the sponge, let it refill. Then put your thumbs at the front and your fingers at the back. So that brings in a little bit more of some of the obliques, but some of the ligaments as well for the back. And the outer erector spinae. Lovely. So just check now that you're fairly level in your pelvis, your feet are nice and wide, and just float the arms towards your ears. Pull your belly button in, and then circle the arms a little bit higher than your shoulders. You don't want to go towards the floor. It's too hard on the shoulders. So pull your belly button in, float the arms to the ears, and then your hands and your thumbs should be higher than your shoulders. Pull the belly button in, arms to ears. So feel as your hands come around, feel your shoulder blades, squeeze the roller. So that's your rhomboids and your trapezius. Try breathing in as your arms go to your ears and breathe out as you circle. And if you haven't got neck issues, you could float the head. I think you've all got neck issues, haven't you? So you might not want to add the head float. Belly button to spine, breathe in, and then high circle and reaching towards the midpoint between the knees. So just do a couple more. Feel the shoulder blades grabbing the roller as the arms come around. Last one. Put the hands on the pelvis. Take the feet back to hip space and just check your pelvis is level, and then put your hands on the floor and let's just float the right knee and come back down and float the left knee, keeping an eye on the time. Float the right knee. Float the left knee. So see now, if you could float the right knee and the left hand and come back down, left knee and right hand, balance, coordination. Right knee, left hand,
left knee, right hand. Put the hands wide on the floor. Float the right knee. Extend your leg, turn out at the hip and lower your little toe towards the floor. You might not get to the floor if you're tight in your hip flexors, and then bend the knee and come back in. So extend the leg, turn out and lower to the floor. Feel that little bit of a pull through the front of the leg, through the hip, and come back in. Breathe in as you take the leg out. So it's a sort of a circle. Breathe out as you bring your knee in. See if you could lift the knee to fold. Breathe in, extend, little toe to floor. So the leg is turned out so that you really get to your psoas. Breathe in. See if you could float the left arm and still do the leg circle. A little bit more abs now with the weight of the arm. See if you could breathe in, float the arm overhead as you take the leg out, and then bring the arm back. Breathing in, extend the arm, extend the leg. One more, breathing in, extend the arm, extend the leg. Put the left hand on the floor, keep your little toe on the floor, and now see if you could float the right arm and just stretch that whole right side. Lift your belly button towards the ceiling, so you're arching your back, stretch out through the arm and the leg, and just take a really deep breath in. So you're stretching your psoas, your obliques, your abdominals, and then allow, as you breathe out, allow the belly button to drop back towards the roller. Bring the hand back, put the hand on the floor, slide the leg back into your start position. So let's do that whole thing on the other side. Float the left leg, extend and turn out, little toe to the floor. Slide the leg in, bend the knee, float the leg, extend and turn out, so it's a circle. We do 4. Just getting used to the leg. Last one. So then you're going to float the right arm just to the ceiling and see how you can manage balancing of the arm in the air and the opposite leg extending. So a little bit wobbly, maybe slow it down. So if you've mastered that, see if you could take the leg out in turnout and float the right arm towards the ear or the floor if your shoulder's okay with that. So extend, turn out, breathe in, breathing out, extend, turn out, breathe in, breathing out. Last one, extend, turn out, breathing in. So nice abdominal work as well as the psoas being released. Put the right hand on the floor. So now the right hand is your balancing tool, and see if you could take the left arm overhead, the left foot to the floor, stretch out through the arm and the leg, and then just slightly lift the belly button. Take a deep breath in and feel that stretch all the way through the left side of your body. As you breathe out, let the belly button drop back towards the roller, bring the hand back into center, and then put the hand out to the side for balance and bring the leg back into feet-hip space. Do a few pelvic tucks. Just make sure the back is happy with that. So hands wide, feet hip space, float the right knee, and just draw some very small circles with your right knee. So this is more about working your abs than doing a big circle. So the best circle you can do is one where your body is not moving, your torso, the bones of your torso are still, and then go the other way in your circle. So you can feel the low abs below the belly button and the low back muscles have to work very hard in this exercise. So great exercise for stabilization. And then come into center. See if you could just let your knee fall out to the side and bring it back up again. See if you can keep the bones of your torso. So it's a turnout of the hip. Come back in. Do 4. Feel the abs still working. And then only if you want to do another set, if you think you've got good control, see if you could let your knee, your shin and your foot fall out. A lot harder, a lot more weight. So the knee, the shin and the foot fall out. Keep the bones of your torso very still. The roller will tell you when you're starting to move into a range that's too hard. I can feel the whole of my powerhouse working now. It's a great exercise. So right up to my diaphragm, to my pelvic floor, everything working. And then put the foot on the floor. And let's just do a bit of a stretch. Let's just link our fingers, hands behind our head, and float our head. So we stretch the long muscles of our back and gently come back down. So just one of those is enough to relax you. Float the left leg. Small circles. Remember, this one builds, and just keeping the bones of your torso nice and still. If your circle's a bit fuzzy because you're right-handed, then just slow it down, use your abs a bit more, and then go the other way. So if it's not quite a good circle, just really use your abs. Last one. So then keep the foot where it is, but let the knee fall out to the side and then come back in. So do 4 of those. So when the foot stays near the midline, not quite so much weight for the powerhouse. If you felt that you could do a little bit more, let the knee, the shin, and the foot fall out, and then come back into the midline. So 4 of those. You're looking at the ceiling. So if you look at a spot on the ceiling, that helps the brain to find its balance. So that's 4. And then place the foot on the floor, feet fairly wide, link the fingers, hands under the head. Just stretch the head. Feel the stretch in your spine and gently come down. So hold the roller and slide the bottom off the roller and just coming into a knee hug position. So just give the back a bit of a rest. It's sort of here where you notice how hard your back had to work. And then take the feet down, knees together, just roll up into sitting. So I'm just seeing where we are. We're coming into kneeling now. So this is the cat stretch with the roller. So just make sure you don't break the cardinal rule, which is to put your thumb at the back of the roller, because that's really going to strain your thumb and your wrists. So the thumb has to stay with the fingers. Have your knees at hip space, and you're going to breathe in as you roll the roller out. And you could look at the floor if your neck doesn't like moving, or you could look at beyond the roller if your neck's okay with it. Breathe out, draw the sit bones together, tuck your tail and come into a curved spine, and your weight is on the knees, not on the roller. So you're breathing in to roll out and push out through your sit bones. Breathing out as you come into your cat stretch. So you're breathing in and you look forward. And you breathe out and you round. Breathing in. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit, as you breathe out, could you lift one knee? And then put the knee down, and then you're coming into the stretch. As you roll in, could you lift the other knee? So balance coordination. Could you roll out and lift the foot towards the back of the head and try and keep the weight off of the roller? That's the tricky bit. And stretching out. So as you roll in, try and keep the weight in the knees, lift the foot towards the back of the head. See if you can get the hands off the roller. So that's going to really work your core. One more each. Rolling out, tuck the tail, lift the foot towards the back of the head, take the hands off the roller, even if it's just for a short time. Extending, last one. Tuck the tail, lift the foot, lift the hands, woo, and come back down and sitting into the heels. Just stretch here for a minute. So you're dropping into your heels and just gently rock the roller forward and back. You'll notice it wherever you're tight. So it might be in the glutes, it might be hamstrings, it might be shoulders, might be your back, and then just tuck under and come back into knees. My least favorite release is the shins. You're coming into kneeling on the roller, hands under your shoulders, and you're just going to roll the roller in and out. If you're on a towel, you would just walk your legs up and down the towel. So this is really a crunch. You're working your abs to bring your knees in. So if you think ribs to hips as you do this, you sort of forget about the painful leg muscles and you start to notice your abs are working quite hard. Last one, knees on the floor, and then just you want to be high above the ankles, not on the ankles, a good quarter of the way up the leg, and just do some foot circles going both ways. So this is anterior tibialis, which is a really important muscle group that gets quite tight sometimes, affects your walking. And then just gently coming off the roller and just come into sitting. So grab your circular band and come to standing. Quick change. Shoulder girdle. So you want to be a comfortable width. You've got tails, have them on the outside so they're not flapping around. And let's just do some little gentle pulls. You're going, keeping the elbows curved. You're going overhead and then you're coming down. No jerking, no jarring. Focus on your breathing. So you breathe in as you go up. Feel the ribs expand. And breathe out as you come down. So use the breath to give you your timing, as long as it takes you to breathe in to move up. Feel that 360-degree expansion in your ribs, breathing out. If you've got neck issues, breathe in, float the arms, and while you're there, stay there a little bit longer, look to the right, look to the left, and then breathe out and come down. So you start to notice this is working everything above the ribs, front and back. Breathing in, keep the elbows curved, look to the right, look to the left. So the shoulder girdle stabilizes the neck, not just the neck muscles. So we're really working the whole group together to restore balance. Last time, breathing in, look to the right, look to the left. Come back down. By now we can feel that the arms, the chest, the shoulders, the upper back worked pretty hard. Even the upper abs got a bit of a workout. Just keep a little bit of tension in the band and do some shoulder rolls backwards and then shoulder rolls forwards. And again, just turn the head to the right, to the left to see how the neck is doing. So palm trees, I'll kneel for this one because I'm out of shot. But palm trees, so you're still standing, you float the arms, you find a gentle bounce, 1, 2, 3, and you come back down. Keep a curve in the elbows. If you lock your arms, your shoulders and your neck work too hard. 1, 2, 3. This is about elastic recoil in the muscles and the fascia. So as the band goes backwards, your chest and rib cage are pushing forwards in opposition to the arms. So you're trying to find a perfect amount of bounce in the muscles, in the fascia. Breathe in, 2, 3, breathing out, 2, 3. Breathing in, 2, 3. Really good one for shoulders, this one. So if you've got tight, painful shoulders, work at a comfortable range, 60% range. No jerking, no jarring, just a comfortable bounce. But you start to notice that your shoulders are getting freer and freer. You're going further and further back. I'm going quite a long way back now. Last one. 1, 2, 3. Come into a comfortable overhead position. Check in with the neck again. Does the neck feel a little bit freer? And come back down. So come back to standing. Gentle stretch in the band. Knees are soft. A little bit of a side bend. I'm out of shot here. Other way.
So just finding a comfortable stretch in the side body. So think 60% range. Don't ask your spine to work too hard. Maybe as you go off to the side, you breathe in. When the ribs expand, breathe out to center. Breathing in, using the breath, breathing out. So now go to the right side, drop your left shoulder, do a sort of a circle around and come back into position. Move to the left side, drop your right shoulder, turn this into a pandiculation. Start to yawn and just find your way through the circle. Do it slow, make sure your back's okay with it, and just really stretch. It's a nice one for the spiral line. As you yawn, it's only a stretch if you don't yawn. If you yawn, you're resetting, regulating your nervous system. Lovely, and come back into center. Coming into feet quite close together, take your right foot to the outside of your left foot, and now you're going to take the hands above the head, and you're going to move to this side. Was it this side? It's this side. So right foot to left side of the foot, and then moving off to the right. 1 and 2 and 3. And come back to center. So that whole of your left side is stretching. 1, 2, 3. So think of that left side like a banana. From the foot to the finger, the little finger on that stretching side. It's quite a lot of balance and coordination. If it's too hard, you could do it this way. So see how you can go. So again, we're using elastic recoil through the muscles, through the fascia. Last time, it's getting a bit easier for balance. Come back into center, drop the arms. So now you're going to take your left foot to the outside of the right foot. So it's the right side now that's stretching. You just start nice and slow and bending over to the left. So if you're right-handed, this is going to be a little bit easier. And then when you're happy, you're going to add the bounce. 1, 2, 3. Make sure the spine is comfortable with this. You're pushing out at the pelvis. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's really lovely to get into the lateral lines, the side body, obliques, serratus, chest muscles, outer thigh, iliotibial band, even your triceps, forearms. Last one, and the spiral line. So the spiral line touches on quite a bit of the lateral lines as well. So, so just coming to the second part of this now, we're going to hold the band in a fairly wide position, and we're just going to step to the side, stretch the band, come back in, step to the other side. So keep the toes pointing forward. As you do this, you're loading up the glutes. So as you go into the lunge, the glutes are working, and then you're stretching the band to bring in your shoulder girdle, so that the shoulder girdle helps the pelvic girdle to stabilize. Don't go too wide. So the focus on today's class, it's whole body, but it's really focusing on legs and abs. You might notice by now that everything has been strongly abs and strongly legs as well. Gentle stretch. Gentle stretch. Come back into center. Well done. So coming to the floor again, you've earned a bit of a rest now and a release. Well done. That was a little bit aerobic. Grab your roller. Coming to sitting on the roller. Keep an eye on the time. So let's just bring our knees together, our ankles together. Same side on the floor, hand, and just soften the elbows. If you lock out your arm, the stress jumps into the shoulders and the neck. If the elbow's bent, you're working your triceps and your back of your shoulder, much stronger muscles. And you're just rolling up the outer side of your bottom to get to your rotators, glute max, glute med. A little bit glute minimus as well, maybe. So just see how that feels. You could sort of make it a sort of a circular movement. If you draw the circle with your knees, you'll find that you're rolling through a slightly wider range on the roller, range of muscles. And then see if you could, it's up to you, but see if you could bring one foot onto the knee. This might be too much. Just see if you're comfortable with that. Keep the elbows soft. You could also do a little bit of gentle bounce on the knee. And the other option is, if you don't like any of this, is you could just be in a sideline position with your ball and just put the ball, or lying on your back and just put the ball there. So piriformis and the glutes, the rotators, can get chronically tight. And so if you don't like doing it on the roller, if it's too much, then you could just lie on your back with the ball at the back of your pelvis on your bottom and just move the knees around and just work. Find those sore places and just work into them. So then uncross, going back to the beginning position and just working up and down, maybe change my hand position because my wrist is getting uncomfortable. And you could finish with straight legs if you want to, and just roll through the side of the pelvis just to get into TFL, glute minimus, glute medius. So that quick little routine has just worked all the glutes and TFL. So bend the knees. So if that was too painful, just lie on your back with the ball and just put the ball at the back of the pelvis and work through the glutes. So we started on the roller, ankles and knees together, hips are stacked, same sign, hand on the floor, hand out or in, but the elbow must be bent. And just work up the outer half of the back of the pelvis, the glutes. So from the sit bone towards the rim of the pelvis, and just find your tender places. I've got quite a few here. And if you make a sort of a circle with your knees, that means you're rolling through a larger area on the glutes. And then you could advance it if you want to foot on the knee. So it's the same side knee, same side as the hand. And you really must bring this shoulder forward. You can't put your hand on the roller because that takes your spine out of a safe position. So you want the hand on the roller, and that way the body's facing forward and your spine's in a nice gentle curve. And if you're okay with this, you could do a little bit of bouncing. Not recommended if you're super tight through here. It might just be enough just to have the pressure of the roller. It's lovely. And then come back to your bent knees and just roll it out a little bit more. See if that's improved at all. It might have just got stronger because the muscles have relaxed. And then if you want to, you could just finish with straight legs, rolling across the side of the pelvis, just to really get into the whole of the side of the pelvis. Okay, coming to sitting. If you don't want to use the roller for this, you can use a big pillow. So I put that in the list of things, a big pillow. Sort of level with the middle of your shoulder blades, feet hip space, link the fingers, hands under the head, elbows forward, just breathe in and look at the ceiling. So if it feels uncomfortable, then just move up the shoulder blade. So you've got a little bit more, you're on the bone of the shoulder blade. That's going to restrict the movement so that you feel a little bit more comfortable. If you're at the bottom of the shoulder blades, your spine is going to move a lot, which some spines don't like that. So just find the middle of the shoulder blades. And then if you want to advance it, you can slightly adjust your position as you get used to it. So you're breathing in as you look up, you're breathing out as you look forward. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. If you want to advance,
As you breathe in and look up, open your elbows and expand your rib cage. As you breathe out and come in, contract your abs. Breathing in to open. Keep your chin tucked. You're not using the bones of your neck. Breathing out, strong abs contracting. Breathing in to open. Breathing out to close. You could take your feet a little bit further out. You could breathe in to open, and as you breathe out, you could float one knee. Breathe in, put the foot down. Breathe out, float the other knee. So that's turned into a crunch. Breathe in to open. Breathe out to lift the knee and close. Breathe in to open. Breathe out, lift the left knee and close. If you want to advance it again, breathe in to open. As you breathe out, lift the right knee and cross left elbow towards right knee, and then come back to center. Breathe in and breathe out and cross right elbow to left knee. So you're really massaging the upper back muscles now, and the spine is flexing and extending. Breathing out to crunch. Breathe in to open, and then just stay in whatever position you're comfortable with now. Chin tucked, and just do a very gentle bounce, very gentle. Elastic recoil again. And then lift your head, do a little half turn, and just scrub around the back of the armpits, the sides of the shoulder blade. Come through center, half turn the other way, a little bit of scrubbing. And then come back into center. One last time to assess. Breathe in and open. How does it feel now? Breathe out to close, and then take the hands forward and just kick the legs out. Come into a diamond and just sit with your head down and just give yourself a moment. And slowly coming back up. So just finish now with the neck. You're going to put the roller way out. You're going to lie down, put the roller at the back of the neck, just under the rim of the skull. Hold the ends of the roller and just roll your nose from right to left. So this is a reward for working hard. So you're going from the mastoid process from one ear to the mastoid process, the bump behind the ear to the left side, right side. So just keep rolling. Just work through all these muscles. If the nose is up, you're working your suboccipital muscles. If you drop your nose down or your chin down towards your chest, you get more into the capitis muscles at the back of the neck. So do a little bit of both. It was really lovely to get into these muscles because they work so hard. So come over to one side and just take your head right to left, up and down, nose circles. Do the circles in both directions. Just repeating up and down with the nose, side to side, circles. As you do these moves, just figure out which of those moves really gets to your sore, unhappy trigger points in your neck, and just figure out what works for you. And then just do a few more of those. So for me, it's the circles getting into my muscles. So then come all the way over to the other side. You're going up and down, side to side, circles, up and down, side to side, circles. Figure out which of those movements hits your active triggers, and just go back to that and just do that. Take a moment to get into what works for you. If one side is worse than the other, go back to that worse side and just work it for a little bit longer. And then go right to left. Come into center, and with two fingers, just gently push at the front of your chin and just gently push your chin towards the bones of your neck and gently stretch your suboccipital triangle. Make sure it feels good. Just do it about 4 times and just release each time. Don't go too strong, just gently coax these muscles at the back of your skull, just to relax and melt them. Last one. And then just finish with right to left again, just to bring everything back into relaxed. And then ankles and knees together, roll sideways, come up into sitting, and you finish.